Howdy, ba-ba-da-da, Banjo Ben. Here at banjobenclark.com, this is your internet home away from home when it comes to learning how to pick on the mandolin or the banjo or the guitar. It doesn't matter. We teach them all here. During the month of December, we're concentrating on Christmas songs, which is my favorite time of the year. I love Christmas music, and we're doing a whole big project with Joy to the World where I'm teaching an advanced and a beginner to intermediate versions of Joy to the World on each of the three instruments. This week is Mandolin Week, and I'm going to play you a beginner to lower level intermediate version of Joy to the World. This is going to be really great to learn for those of you who are just starting out picking, but it's good enough to where even if you've been picking for a while, you're going to enjoy it. It's based a lot around the scales, so it's going to get your right hand going, your left hand going. It's a great speed exercise, everything all in one. Let me play it for you. That was my basic version of Joy to the World on the mandolin. I think it's really going to be a great lesson for you. Not only is it a beautiful song and fitting for this time of year, it's also got a lot of great scale licks built around that melody. And for those of you who are wanting to learn how to pick in the key of G, it opens that key up a lot for you, as well as just get your right hand and your left hand working together with those eighth note runs. And so I think this is going to be good for you all the way around. If you're watching this on my website, banjobenclark.com, as a Gold Peak member, jump over and grab the PDF tab of this because we're about to do what we do every week here on the website. We're going to dive into every single measure and teach you how to play every single note. All right, y'all, let's look at this basic version of Joy to the World. First thing I'd like to mention, which I think I've already mentioned, is that this is in the key of G, which means we're going to use a lot of open strings. The key of G is unique in that all four strings of the mandolin, when played open, are in the G major scale. So we're going to get a lot of open strings, and we're going to be playing a lot of G notes. Since it's in the key of G, the melody revolves around that G note. So obviously we have our open G string here, which is a G note. Where's our next G note that we find? We can find the octave above that one on the 5th fret of the D string. Hear how they're octave apart? Our next G note that we can find is the 3rd fret up here on the high E string. So there's 3 octaves of G that we're going to be using a lot in this version of Joy to the World. Another lesson that's really great to watch here on the website in conjunction with this one is the G major scale study on the mandolin. It's a video series that I put out that's really going to work well with this one, and I think really complement each other. But let's look there. In measure 2, I have a kickoff, and essentially this is just a measure that we're going to use to get us into the melody. Okay, so the melody is going to start up here on this G note, but we're going to kind of work our way into it. We're going to play 8 eighth notes to get there. And as you can see, this is essentially just a G major scale. This is why I mentioned that it goes so great with that G major scale study video lesson that I have. But there in measure 2, as you notice, I have the pick strokes down beneath every one of the notes, so pay attention to that, the little arrows. But we're going to start on the downbeat, and we're just going to play up the scale. At least the first 7 notes, all the way up to that 4th fret, and then we're going to have an open A string to end that last little run. Essentially, this is setting us up to land on this 5th fret here, a G note, as we covered. This is going to start the melody. Joy to the world. That's what we want to hear. So we're going to work our way up to that. Why don't you try playing that second measure with me there as we start off there and just play our way up this scale. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and... Good job. Let's do it one more time. 2, ready, go. 3, and 4, and... Yeah. Good stuff, good stuff. That's just a great lick, a great scale to practice regardless of whether or not you're playing it in song. Now as we get there to measure 3, we're going to start the melody, as I mentioned. And we're going to start there on the 5th fret of the D string and follow our melody down. The melody goes, joy to the world. So we've got a joy, but we're going to fill in a little bit of the white space here because that joy takes place over 2 beats. So we kind of have a beat just hanging out there. It'd be fine to just play joy to the world. But I've decided to add a little bit of something in there to help fill in that little space. And so what I've done on the 2nd beat there, we're just going to reach down and play 2 strokes on our low G string. 2 and. So joy to the world. Hear that? Try that with me. 2, ready, go. Joy to the... Good job. Yeah. So that's all we're doing. We're going to do that quite a bit in this version. When we have the long melody notes, we're going to fill in some of the space with some runs, or like we're doing there, kind of a little cross-picking unison thing there. Let's look at measure 4 there. We're going to continue to follow the melody and use that same little technique that we just learned. Now we're down to the world, and we're going to jump down and grab 2 more of those open G strings down there. Let's try that measure together. 2, ready, go. There you go. So we've got 3/4 notes in this measure, and then those 2 1/8 notes there on the 2nd beat. Not too tough. And then when we hit this 5th fret on the G string, that's resuming our melody. The Lord is come. Okay? So that's where we're going. On into measure 5, we're going to get into a little kind of circular scale run here it's going to include our melody notes. What are our melody notes? The Lord is come. Okay, those are big, long melody notes. It would get kind of boring if we just played joy to the world, the Lord is come. It's the melody, it's great, but what I'm going to do is grab those same melody notes and let those kind of be the fixture, the centerpiece around some scale licks. And so let's look there at measure 5, one of these licks. I'm going to play it for you really slowly. We're using our alternating pick strokes, as you can see there. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Hear that little pattern? Okay. But there's the melodies. Lord is. And then as we move into measure 6, we get our last little melody note, come. And that come note, that lasts for a whole measure. So what we're going to do is give us another little scale lick to fill in some of the time. Okay? So that measure 6 sounds like this. 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So once again, we're just working right back up the scale, right? Let's look there in measure 7. We're going to get into the C chord and continue to work our way up the melody. This is going to be good.